When I heard that you got a new house, I was curious of what it was going to look like. I almost chuckled when I saw it. It's so small that it probably set a record for smallest house in your town.
I don't think it's that bad. Me and my husband think it's a fine house, just as it is.
That reminds me of something I wanted to ask you, Amelia. You don't have any children, do you?
Not yet.
Then don't you think you're getting ahead of yourself already purchasing a house? That extra space is just wasted on you.
Well, I'm hoping that sometime in the future we'll be able to have a child. I want to be ready for when the time comes.
It's too late for you. You're already 35, aren't you? I'd just give up if I were you.
People still have children when they are over 40. If I really want a kid, there's still time.
But why did you go through all the effort to get a house anyway? I bet my brother kept pressuring you to do it until you couldn't say no to him anymore.
We actually talked it out together. There's no way he'd make this decision without my input.
Just so you know, people who buy a house in this market are basically throwing money away.
I don't get what you're saying.
Not only do you have to get a loan, you also have to pay property taxes and all sorts of other fees. It's a waste of time and money if you ask me.
Moving into a home is not for everyone, that's for sure.
It's so easy living in an apartment. Me and my husband can just take it easy with our place. And if we ever wanted to move, it's as simple as finding a new place and moving a few things.
Everyone has the choice to live how they want. It doesn't matter what you choose as long as it works with you.
That's where you're wrong, Amelia. There's only a right choice and a wrong choice. And I'm pretty sure you've made the wrong choice. Don't you regret buying a house instead of getting an apartment?
Not at all. I'm actually looking forward to living in our house. I've always wanted to have a backyard with a garden, so I'm planning to try out gardening.
Sounds pretty boring, to be honest.
What's so boring?
It's surprising. You seem like such a meek person, yet you don't seem to be listening to what I'm saying. You're more stubborn about this than I thought you'd be.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I've told you how great living in an apartment is, didn't I? I clearly showed how it's clearly better than a house. Yet you keep going on about how it's not so bad. I just admit you're wrong about this.
But don't you think there's more than one way to live? Isn't it just fine to live in the way that works with you?
Not when living in an apartment exists. It's clearly superior. It's not just my opinion. Everyone else is thinking the same thing.
If living in a house is the wrong decision, then I guess I'm fine with being wrong.
You're just fine living like that? I think that's a dangerous way to live.
It's not as bad as you think. I don't know why you're so fixated on this.
But what about the loans? Isn't that going to be annoying? You're going to be stuck with paying for it for many years to come.
It's true that we had to get a loan for our house, but it's just part of buying a house.
I'm sure if you asked for it, you could get a gift or something from my mom if you asked. She's always the type to celebrate anything new that's going on.
We don't need anything like that. We're just glad she's thinking about us.
Have you thought about getting a doormat to place outside your door? It could say donations welcomed. You'll need every penny you need with how large your loan probably is.
We already have all the house decorations we need. But thank you for the suggestion.
Then maybe you could set a few traps in your backyard. You might be able to save a few bucks by catching some birds that happen to stop by.
We're doing well enough right now, so you don't have to worry about us. I've got some things to do, so I've got to go. Thanks for the lovely conversation.
You don't have to try to trick me. I know you just don't like being wrong. My brother really has a way of choosing women. You'd think he'd be a bit more careful with who he marries.
I've got a contractor over to do some work, so I'll see you later.
What a perfect opportunity! You should tell him to make the house not look like a wreck. Hey, I forgot to buy some corn the other day.
What? Is something going on?
I was thinking that I should hold a barbecue. It seems like the right thing to do. So if you're going out shopping anytime soon, you should pick some up for me.
You're holding a barbecue? That sounds fun. Where do you plan to hold it?
Oh, I'm holding it right now. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it since it's taking place at your house.
Huh? I didn't hear anything about a barbecue here.
But I've run into a bit of a problem.
What?
When I was getting things ready, I accidentally lost control and burnt your house. Sorry about damaging your lovely home.
What's the meaning of this?
Don't worry about it. It was just a little accident. No serious damage happened. There's just a little burn mark on your property, so it's nothing to fuss over.
I don't understand what's going on. Why were you at my house in my own backyard?
Why are you so worried? My husband put it out right after it happened. I'd thank him the next time you see him. He did you a huge favor.
How did you get into my backyard in the first place?
I just went through the gate. It wasn't that difficult. It just took a little bit of trying, but we were able to get in. It's so funny how easy it is to get through house gates. You just need to be a little persistent and you can open it in no time. It makes you think why they're there in the first place.
You came to my house with your husband.
That's right. We're here right now. You have to admit, a real risk of owning a house is that you always have to worry about fires. That's why I'm glad I have an apartment. I never have to worry about fires much.
I want you to leave. Now.
But what about the barbecue? Don't you want to have a little fun? I've been planning this for a while. It'd be fun if we could celebrate your new home by having a little bit of a party, don't you think?
I'm not messing around. I want you both out of here. Me and Dave worked hard choosing our place, and we had to do a lot to make this all work out. For you to just come and damage our house like this is appalling.
I told you it wasn't that bad.
I don't care how bad it was. This isn't okay.
Are you actually mad at me right now?
Yes, I'm mad. Why the heck did you do that? Who wouldn't get angry if someone just came into their backyard and damaged their new home?
It was an accident. I don't see why you're so upset about this.
This isn't a joke.
It's just a little burn. It's not like your house is irreparable or something.
It doesn't matter how big or little the damage is. What you did was wrong.
Your house is just a little insignificant place. There's no reason to get upset over a little scar.
Why are you like this? Why are you making fun of me and Dave's house like this? You don't have any right to say or do the things you're doing.
Oh, whatever. I bet you're just upset that your life isn't as good as mine.
Dave is going to be hearing about this. I wouldn't be so smug if I were you.
What's there to be afraid of? Do you think I'm intimidated by Dave? He's nothing but small fry. I don't have anything to be worried about.
Just take your things and get off my property. And don't come back.
I don't want to, though. I haven't even started the barbecue yet.
You're not going to give me a break, are you?
It'd just be such a shame if the barbecue had to end so early like this.
This is my house, Sarah. You're going to cause trouble for the neighbors if you stick around.
So what? Is that my problem? It's not my house, so what does it matter if they're upset? I won't be dealing with them myself.
If you're not going to leave, I'm going to notify the police and make you leave.
Make me leave? Don't you think that's a bit much?
Not from my point of view.
But I was going to have friends over too. They should be here in about 30 minutes. And I told them to stick around a while. So why don't you let us be?
Enough of this! Get out of my backyard!
Dramatic as usual, I see.
I can't believe you! You haven't even once stopped by to say hi to Dave or I. And then you come over without permission and say you're holding a barbecue? Don't you see how senseless that is?
You're just upset at me for no reason, as always.
The police are on their way. So if you don't leave now, they're going to make you leave.
They'll see our side of the story. You won't get your way.
Dave is on the way too. So if you don't want trouble, leave now.
I'll just give him a steak and beer. He won't do a thing.
Have you finally left?
Nah, we're both still here. We're thinking about putting on the hot dogs.
I just got back home, but I don't see either of you anywhere.
You're bluffing. I know you can see the smoke coming from your backyard.
I know what my house looks like, and there isn't any smoke from what I can see.
Did you forget where you live or something? You really are something, you know that.
Just to clarify, you said you accidentally burnt our house, but can you specify exactly where that was?
It was the balcony. It was too bad, too. It was looking perfect before the accident. It's the perfect place for a barbecue, though, so you can't blame me for what happened.
Oh my god. I think I get it now.
What do you mean? What do you get?
When you said you burnt the house, I thought you were talking about the framework.
I don't get what you mean.
You're not at our house right now, Sarah. You're somewhere else right now.
Wait, what?
We haven't even finished our house yet. We're still in the process of building it.
But then, where am I right now? Whose place is this?
That's what I was going to ask. Where exactly did you go?
You're just trying to trick me. You want me to think that I made a mistake. I'm not that stupid, you know. You can't get me to leave that easily.
It's the truth, though. Dave in my house doesn't even have it in the plans to build a balcony. How would you damage something that doesn't exist? Not only that, we don't even have any of the walls up yet. When you kept talking about the damages you did, I was really confused about what you were referencing. But now it all makes sense.
No way. But I got the address from a note from my mom. She gave me the exact address. How do you explain that?
You must have mixed it up then. I don't see you here, so there's no way you went to the right place.
My mom must have given me the wrong address. There's no way I'd make a mistake like this.
Did you even look around to make sure it was our place?
It looked like somewhere you and David would live. And the address should have been correct.
You really screwed up this time, didn't you?
I'll just leave. I'm not going to take responsibility for this.
You can't just damage someone's house and leave like that.
I'm not in the mood to get yelled at for something that isn't my fault.
You were the one who selfishly trespassed on someone else's property. You can't leave without paying for what you did.
If it wasn't my fault, then I don't have to pay for anything.
That's not how this works. Aren't you an adult, Sarah? You'd think that you'd be more responsible being 38 years old.
They can't pin anything on me if they don't know it was me. I'll get out of here and then it'll all be fine.
I've already let the police know where you are. The smoke is a dead giveaway.
You're snitching on your own sister-in-law? Over a little accident like this?
I don't care if you're my sister-in-law or not. I'm not letting you get away with this.
You became such a jerk ever since you got a house. I can't believe you.
What does my house have to do with any of this?
It has everything to do with this. You getting a house really irked me ever since I found out. I started to wonder why you got to live in a house while I'm stuck where I'm at.
You really couldn't keep a lid on your feelings, could you?
If you and Dave would have just known your place and decided to keep living in an apartment, none of this would have happened.
You were jealous of us then? You wanted a house of your own.
I never said anything like that. I've already told you plenty how I feel.
You're not a good liar, Sarah. I can tell us getting a house really ticked you off.
I never wanted a house. I've been fine where I'm living for years.
Then why don't you explain a few things? Why would you go and hold a barbecue when you hate houses so much? You really just wanted to have a house as much as I do, don't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've already heard about it from your mom, Sarah. She's told me everything. Like how on the weekends you'd go to open houses to look at different places you could live.
She told you about that?
Even though you were so interested in getting a house, you weren't able to get a house before us. That really frustrated you, didn't it?
Shut up. It'll just be a matter of time till I have a house just like you.
I hate to break it to you, but with your spending habits, your dream of getting a house isn't going anywhere.
What?
Dave talks to your husband pretty often. He's heard all about you, including how you keep spending too much on groceries, and how you're always going out to eat instead of eating at home. Not to mention your habit of always wanting to buy the current trend of clothing. It's adding up to quite a toll on your budget, isn't it?
Oh my God. Michael told you all about this?
You already know how hard it is to buy a house. I would have thought you would have been more careful with how you spend if you really wanted a house.
But Michael isn't the only one with a job. I'm also working too.
You mean you try to work? You never can seem to keep a job, can you?
Michael told you about that too.
Every time you get a new part-time job, you get fired a few days later.
It's not my fault. They just can't appreciate my skill set. They expect me to follow all of their rules when I can do things better. I don't want to work for someone who can't see what I'm capable of.
I'd try to change yourself rather than blaming everyone but yourself.
I'll just find somewhere that understands what I can do.
That reminds me. Did you just leave your husband to clean up your mess? Michael just called Dave. He said you ran away alone.
He's taking care of the evidence. I got away while I got the chance.
You really gave him a hard time with all this. He actually thought you were holding a barbecue and you got permission to do this.
He'd never go along with my plan if he knew what was really going on. Michael would try to stop me. I couldn't let him do that.
How could you just abandon him when he did nothing wrong?
It's a man's job to protect his wife. It's his job to do this. He's never been much of a help to me anyways, so it's about time he gives me a break. All the better if he's the one who takes the fall for this.
You're unbelievable.
Wait, if he gets caught, then what if he loses his job?
You really only care about yourself.
I'm going to need you to lend me some money.
And why?
I'll need to lay low for a while. I'm sure with enough time, the police will forget all about this.
This isn't how the law works.
I'll just need a few thousand for now.
Sorry, Dave and I have our hands full with our new house.
You can't lend me anything?
It took us a long time to have enough for a house. You aren't getting a cent.
You wasted all your money on some piece of land.
It's not easy building your own house. It takes time and money.
I thought you were going to live in a small house.
It's kind of large, especially the backyard.
But why go through all that effort?
I wanted a place where I could garden and have room for kids to play.
You don't even have kids, and yet you say things like that.
It won't be long before Dave and I have some.
I can't believe this. Why do you get all of this?
Excuse me?
Why do you get all of this before me? I'm older than you, and yet you get to have so much.
I don't recall anything stopping you from doing what I'm doing.
You don't understand my point of view. You've always been loved by my family, ever since you've been with Dave. I lost my place in the family thanks to you.
You're mistaken, Sarah.
Huh?
Before you start complaining about how much you've suffered, why don't you look at yourself first to find the problem?
That's a heck of a thing to say.
You keep complaining about what me and Dave have when you could have it too if you tried.
I don't want to hear this.
You don't have any grounds to get upset at us. You're going to apologize to whoever's house you damaged. And pay for what you did.
But I don't want to. It's like I said, I didn't do anything wrong.
You can't blame everything on others, Sarah. Don't contact me anymore. I'm done talking with you.
I'll find your place next time. You'll get what's coming.
Not if the police have anything to say about that.
Whatever. Just try and stop me.
Michael gave us the license plate number of Sarah's car. Thanks to him, the police were able to track her down and arrest her. She didn't go quietly, though. She kept yelling how it was all her husband and she had no part in it. But she already had plenty of evidence against her, with the silver bullet being the messages she sent me. It was clear that it was no accident what she did. She's going to have it rough with having to pay for the damages. From what I've heard, the damages amounted to about $8,000. Michael wouldn't forgive Sarah for what she did, and who can blame him? He apologized to us for all of the trouble she caused, and promised it wouldn't happen again. They're going to divorce from what it looks like. After a while, our house was finished and me and Dave moved in. I'm looking forward to having kids with him and enjoying our new life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future.